Well, good morning. I'm just loading up some firewood, taking it to the house. We've got another really cold stretch here in the middle of February. I think it's currently feels like -1, actual temp of like 7 or 8 degrees. So our fireplace is burning pretty good nonstop. But today I have a very special project for you. You've already seen me grind up and prepare our pig feed that we get mixed at our local mill. Today I'm going to do the same thing with our layer feed. So you get to see all that process. As soon as I'm done loading firewood, that's what we're going to get started on. As you saw when we ground up the pig feed, I've got to grab our extension cords and stretch them out. We keep another 55-gallon steel drum out by the chicken coop underneath a little lean-to awning so that it's covered from the rain and the snow. But I've got to stretch, probably 150 feet of extension cord in order to run the grinder out there. So I'll drive my pickup truck over there. The feed bags are in the bed and we'll grind it out there close to the chickens. That way I'm not toting 5-gallon buckets of feed all the way out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these stretched out. You've seen how I do that before. I'll get them stretched out. We'll take the grinder over there. The next time you see me, we'll be dumping that feed mix into the grinder to get it prepared for our chickens. Got our extension cord stretched all the way out, and that will allow us to hook the grinder up to it and then empty the feed bags into this 50-gallon drum. It's pretty empty down in here, as you can tell by the echo. So, like I said in our video about the pig feed, I can usually tell pretty close to within a couple of days ahead of time when we're going to be out of feed. And our local mill is really good about turning around quickly. So if I call them in the morning, they'll have as long as they've got the ingredients in stock, which most of the time they do, they'll have it turned around and ready for me to pick up that afternoon. So I don't have to have like a 3 or 4 week anticipation of when our feed's going to run out so I can order more online. I just mimic those online mixes and have it done at our local mill with the added NutriBalancer and all that other stuff, just the same as you would if you were ordering it online. So let's get to grinding this feed. When we grind feed, they come in these big 50, 60-pound polyester bags. And I don't like picking up the bags to dump them in the hopper for that little grinder. So I always use a 5-gallon bucket. I'll dump the bag of feed into this and then use this to control how much I put in the grinder. First thing I gotta do is pull the hopper out of the grinder bucket. And it comes with multiple sizes of grates. I'm gonna set those to the side. I'll get this guy attached with the clips that hold that hopper on top of the bucket. And then I'll get it plugged in. The first bucket we always fill is this galvanized steel, aluminum, whatever it is, bucket. And this is our overflow feed. Just in case there's too much to fit into that 55-gallon drum, we have this as additional small bulk storage inside of our little shed in the back. I'll take the gamma lid off to our empty 5-gallon bucket and grab a bag of feed, pour it in here, and then we'll get started grinding. Now we turn it on and get started. While that's grinding, I'm gonna come back here and get our black soldier fly and give the chickens a little bit of a treat, because they're probably anxious for me to get in there and refill their feeders. The last time they got fed was last night. So I'll give them a couple of these. And, I mean, a good scoopful for 35 chickens doesn't go very far, but at least it's something. Like I said, our chickens don't prefer the snow. So I cleared out a little flat spot there where I can throw the feed and they don't mind getting into it and pecking at it. I just heard the grinder change sounds, and that means the hopper is empty, so I got to refill it. Yep. I'll walk away from that sound because that's kind of loud. So you'll notice in that mix, we use corn. It's non-GMO corn. We do not use soybeans in any shape, way, or form in our layer feed. We will for our broilers. And that's because by and large, the detrimental aspects of soybean nutrition comes from soy byproducts like soy meal, which is where the oil is pressed out of the ground bean, and then soybean oil, which is the oil that's pressed out of it. We, for our pigs and for our broilers, are going to use whole soybean that we grind ourselves. The oil and the meal is all still contained in that solid unit. It's just more digestible because it's roasted and it's ground. There's other things in this mix too. The description includes a link to our website where you can see the recipe that we use and the nutritional information related to that recipe. On that website, you can find links to the pig feed mix that we use and the broiler feed that we're going to use, as well as many, many other things. So hopefully this is informative for you guys. If nothing else, you get to watch me grind feed when it's less than 10 degrees outside. Not many people are doing things like that on their farms. You can see there, the feed swirls around in the hopper and goes down that channel into the grinder blades itself, through the grate, and then fills the bucket below. Once I take this off, I set it on top of another 5-gallon bucket because it fits. That holds it from getting snowy or falling mud or whatever. Just set it there like that. And then we have an entire bucket full of fresh ground grain. And then we start the process all over again. That is our last bucket of feed. We'll carry that over. I'm gonna get you guys set up here. You watch me dump the last of the feed into our 55-gallon drum. Now the last thing that I do is I have one 5-gallon bucket left to fill up. I'll use that big red feed scoop and fill it up, and then we'll store it in our little shed here. In this shed, we have a 10-gallon overflow metal feed container. We have a 5-gallon bucket of black soldier fly larvae, a 5-gallon bucket of calcium. This is oyster shell or some other form of calcium. This is what we take into the actual run to feed in free choice containers. And then down here we'll have 1, 2, and then that third 5-gallon bucket full of feed. So in total, that's 25 gallons of ground feed, plus at least two-thirds of a 55-gallon drum. And that was 300 pounds of feed total. It costs us $85 to get it from the mill, so not too terribly bad. That lasts us 2 months. So you're looking at if you're running a business and you're looking at price $50 a month in feed for 35 laying hens and a rooster to get you as many eggs as we're getting today. We'll be able to sell and make our money back in no time and pay for this feed. So that's basically all we're in this for right now. We're not trying to make a bunch of money. We're trying to break even, which means that we get our eggs for free at the end of the day. Last thing I gotta do is put the grinder and extension cords away, unplug that, wrap this around like so. The extra filters go down in first, and then this goes in upside down. Stuff the cord down in, and then lock it tight. All finished. So I hope this video was informative for you. If you have questions about how we contact our local mill, the feed ratio and ration that we give to our laying hens, the evolution over time, because this is not what we started with. This is what we've landed on for today, and it may change a little bit as we get some greening up of our grasses and pastures, as the chickens can forage a little bit more when there's no snow on the ground and there's actually green out there for them to eat. The mixture may change a little bit, but overall, the link that's in the description contains what we just ground for our laying hens. And I don't see that changing too awful much, just a little bit here and there to fine tune things. So overall, that took me an hour and a half to do. I had to run inside for about 10 minutes to keep the fire going, because we, again, heat our house with firewood, and someone's got to be in there to help address those things, keep the house warm so that my wife can do the homeschooling and the cooking and everything else that she has on her plate, which is way more difficult and way more time consuming than what I have. But if you're looking for a way to get good, wholesome, high quality, locally raised feed, buying it from a local mill and grinding it yourself to make it more bioavailable is definitely the way to go. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. We'll try to keep an eye on those as best we can. I can't guarantee that I'll answer everyone's questions or comments, but we do appreciate it. If you would, like the video and then hit the subscribe button on our channel and toggle that little bell for notifications. That way you get alerted when we come out with new videos. That really helps the channel a lot and will help us in the future to be able to produce more stuff like this. So if you enjoy seeing it, share it with your friends, do all of those things listed below. Enjoy the morning, afternoon, or evening with your family, and I'll see you right back here for the next video.